Hey guys, and welcome to another video on Luminar Neo. And to be honest with you, this is going to be the last time I'll be talking about Luminar Neo. Not for a good or bad reason. I'll be probably continue to use it, but I would like to, for my personal purpose, but I would like to make my final statement on current state of Luminar Neo. It's kind of like a mixed bag with a lot of potential. So I took my note, so I will be very specific without wasting your time. So let's start with the positive side. Let's talk about the good side of Luminar Neo. So it came with a lot of hope. Obviously, it did show its potential without any doubt, and I did use it extensively. If you look at my playlist dedicated on Luminar Neo, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, out of many things, it tried to automate many of the creative part of photography. That could be portrait, that could be landscape, that could be cityscape, anything, right? And with nice fine art style photography, of course, some digital art. And I did use it and it works wonder. However, before I go to the negative side, I was surprised by the relight, for example. Yep, the relight it just works like a charm. The fact that back in the day, like even now in Photoshop, I have to brush it, and not Photoshop. I don't use Photoshop. I should be very careful what I say. I use Affinity Photo. However, objective is the same. You need to mask it and then make sure the foreground, especially the subject, stays perfect, while the background, you either want to make it blur or make it darken so that the focus on stays on the subject. That's a lot of work if you want to be precise, and in Relight you just do it in few seconds depending on your computer. The background blur works exactly the same way. The bokeh, more or less, it's a hit and miss. However, globally it did show me about 60% of success, and when it does work, it works perfectly. And then glow, especially the glow and mystic glow. I think it's just next to each other in the creative side. They both reminds me of the back in the day when used to use this soft filter, makes the image looks kind of soft, glowy, and mystical. I think even now they use it a lot in cinema. In past, it was extensively used it for the glowy portrait photography. I mean, sharpness is not always the key. You always need kind of like a softness to make it look calm. And the glow is one of my personal favorite. Highly recommended if you haven't tried it yet. Now, another one, which is the Mask AI. Now, Mask AI, it's just wonderful fact that they somehow managed to dedicate each subject of image. It's out of control, simply speaking. But however, they didn't, all work perfectly in each images. I mean, there's a lot of problem with each of the options. Now, I'm gonna get to the problem now. First of all, the first problem is the software is not very responsive all the time. When you click it, it takes a lot of time to just show you the effect. Sometimes it doesn't even show. It does shows a lot of bugs. You have to go back and forth. Looks like the common problem of any new software, which most likely going to be corrected in future updates. Generally speaking, that's the case. In this case, I really hope so. So yeah, it's not really responsive all the time. I mean, I don't have any problem with my personal choice of editor, basic one, which is Silky Pix Developer Studio Pro. Also, Affinity Photo does wonders. It works just super fast, smooth, without any problem. The second one, which is, yeah, more or less the similar type of technical problem, which is, and yesterday, day before yesterday, I had to uninstall and install it pretty much every time I had to do something. For instance, I opened the software and then I did my edit. I closed my software. I went for a break, or I went to work, and then I got back home. And of course, I need to finish recording a tutorial or do my own editing. It shows some kind of like a Microsoft CC something. I don't understand exactly what, but I had to uninstall it and install it again in order to make it work. Not something that I like a lot. Another problem, which is, again, even if I manage to make it on, after doing few layers and few crazy mask AI and relight and etc., it freeze and it crash. We all know how frustrating it can be. It can happen to Adobe Lightroom, it can happen to DxO, and now it's happening with this. And I'm not a big fan, honestly. Raw editing needs work, because every time, depends on the size of the raw file. Again, it became even less responsive. It becomes even less speed, less fast. Slower. That's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't happen when I edit TIFF, even though it's not fast enough with my like, but not good enough either. What else? Now, sky replacement. I did make a video on it, which is, I had a photo of a desert with just a plain blue sky with one tree peeking through the sky. Easiest thing, I even replaced the sky with Affinity Photo because it's just a plain blue. You just had to select blue and then get rid of the sky and replace it with something else. It didn't really work with Luminar Neo, which is probably should be the easiest thing in this, but was not the case. So sky replacement is not perfect yet. It does a good job when it does a good job, but not all the time. And same to the power line removals. I did make a video as well. Welcome you to go and see it. My test shows that power line removal is not perfect. It needs a lot of work. In the end, okay, enough with good and bad. Nothing in life is perfect. At the end of the day, there's a tool for everything, and this is not a solution for all the photography in the world. And I like to say that this software has a phenomenal potential, because, like I said in the earlier of the video, on a good day, I did manage to make some crazy artwork in less than 5 minutes, which could have taken a good 2 to 3 hours if I'm lucky in Affinity Photo or in Photoshop or both. So that's why I'm trying to insist that this software is crazy good. It just needs a lot of work on technical department. And if they manage to make it as smooth as possible with a laptop, like people shouldn't have to have a super fast laptop in order to make something work. You should be able to work on any kind of powerful software, computer, So I hope that they make it available for almost any kind of good laptop, and they fix all the technical problems. If they do so, this software gonna come after Photoshop, no doubt. All right. So if you like to try this software, I welcome you to go down in the description below and try it for yourself. Until then, look after yourself, and bye-bye.